Hi everyone. Today I'm going to show you some more products and also how to make brats. We're going to make some original LEM Backwoods brats, and I'm going to show you all the equipment that I use to make them and how to set it all up. So this is a Weston number 12 1-horse pro grinder, and it works really good. You'll see in a minute. It really grinds the meat as fast as you can put it in there. We've had this probably about 10 years, and it's still just, it might even look different than the ones that they sell now because I've had it so long. But anyway, let me just show you how this goes together, and we'll get started. This is the neck. Goes in like that. Then the auger. You just turn that until you feel it engage there. And then the blade. And this is important. I've had people tell me that their grinder wasn't working, and as funny as this sounds, it's because they're putting the blade in backwards. So the blade needs to cut against these grinder plates, and they sell a lot of different sizes of these. Usually what they'll come with is a small, maybe a 4mm, and this one's probably a 10 or 12mm, and then this one usually doesn't come with the grinder, but you can buy it separately, and that's called a stuffing plate. So for now, I always use the big one, the bigger holes, and that there's a little groove right here that matches up with this. And then you just screw the collar on. Tray goes here, and that's it. Good to go. Turn it on and start grinding. Another thing I want to show you are these meat lugs. These ones are from Chard, and they're really handy anytime you're mixing meat or grinding meat. You can see that this goes right underneath. One tip here is sometimes your grinder will be too low to get this underneath all the way. So you see here, I have this set on a cutting board to get it up higher. Actually, I could even have it a little bit higher than this, but this will work. Another nice thing about this is, if you have lots to do, you can have lids. You can store this overnight, and also these lids are made to be stackable, so you can save space that way. Okay, so Finn and Kayla here are going to help me show you how easy this is. This is the stomper. You always want to put the big side down, right, Finn?
Yep.
Okay, so Kaylee's just loading up the tray. Keep loading up the tray, Kaylee. Then we're just going to feed the meat down there. You can see it's just real easy to push through. And really, this will grind as fast as you can get it in there.
To go down.
You can see that coarse grind coming out of there. Now, I almost always use the coarse grind. This fine one is for like if you were making hot dogs and you're looking for that real fine texture. You can run it through this, or sometimes breakfast sausage is good this way too, but for brats and most of the things that I make, I always use the coarse, or just a regular hamburger. So today we're doing 15 pounds of venison, and we'll be mixing that with 15 pounds of pork to make a 30-pound batch of brats. And you can see how quickly this is going through. I would say under 5 minutes, no problem to run through this 15 pounds with this size of a grinder. And if you buy a smaller grinder, that's really the difference. Is it just takes more time. The number 12 stands for this right here. This is the size of the neck, or the size of this. So the bigger the number, 1022 is the bigger one, and they have one that goes up to a 32, and that's just the bigger size chunks of meat you can run through there basically. The number 5 and number 8s, the less expensive ones, Same thing, they're just smaller. So you just start with smaller chunks of meat. They still do a good job. Okay, so we have our meat ground here, and this is 15 pounds of ground venison. And then what I have is 10 pounds of ground pork, which I bought at the butcher shop and had them grind it for me. It's fine if you just buy whole pork roast and grind it yourself, but just keep in mind if you need 10 pounds of meat, you're probably buying, there's a bone in there and a lot of fat that you might have to trim off. So if you're going to buy it not pre-ground and you want to end up with 10 pounds, you might have to buy up to 15 pounds. So if I know how much I need, I always just have them grind it for me. So anyway, there's 10 pounds of the ground pork. This is really handy to have. It's a charge scale, and it goes up to 44 pounds, and it's really accurate. This bag of meat right from the butcher says 10.04 pounds, and that seems to be right on the money there. So it's a really nice item, a must-have if you're going to make the brats. We're making Backwoods from LEM Bratwurst.
Yep.
This is just original. It's a 25-pound batch, so I got 15 venison and 10 pork. And then we're going to mix in this high-temp cheddar cheese. So this is made after it's in the brat and you cook it, it doesn't melt out. It stays in the brat. It's a 3-pound pack. That's what they recommend, is about a pound of cheese to every 10 pounds of meat. So this is already pre-measured basically to make one batch of brats. Okay, the next step is I'm going to mix the pork and the venison together, and I'm going to show you this 20-pound meat mixer here. But before I do, I just like to kind of pre-mix it, roll your sleeves up, pre-mix it a little bit by hand. And this is a 25-pound batch, and this is a 20-pound mixer, so we're not going to quite get it all in there. They do make a 44-pound mixer that's handy. You can get a full batch in at once is the benefit. The other thing about that 44-pound mixer is it will attach to your grinder, so you don't have to do any of the hand. But if you just kind of watch in here, you know, you can see right now the venison and pork separation. And it's pretty quick if this mixes it all together. I like to mix it for a little bit before I put the seasoning in. And then that high temp cheese, you really want to wait till the very end so that you don't grind that up into small pieces. Okay, so we got the pork and the venison mixed up here. We got 25 pounds of meat. This bag does 25 pounds of seasoning for the bratwurst. And before you mix this in, you have to mix this seasoning with water. And it tells you directions on here. This bag is resealable. You don't have to do the full batch at once. You use 2 tablespoons of this per pound of meat. But we're going to use the whole bag. And for the whole bag, you mix it with 25 ounces of water, which I already have in here. And that just mainly helps you mix the seasoning into the meat easier. Also adds a little bit of moisture to your brats. The other thing this helps with is you don't get the big clumps of seasoning where you get a bite that's too strong and then another bite that doesn't have any flavor. So this is just a good way to get it evenly dispersed through all the brats. Okay, so that's the full batch there and full 25 pounds of meat. And then I mix this up a little bit by hand. Once we have it mixed by hand a little bit, I'm going to put it back into the mixer to get it really good. Okay, so our seasoning is all mixed in now, and for these brats we're going to make them with this high temp cheddar. And this is vacuum savored, so I just kind of break it apart so you don't get a big clump. And then I just mix this through by hand. You can put it back in the mixer or mix it in the mixer if you want. You just have to be careful not to mix it too much, or it can chew this cheese up into small pieces. The other thing, anytime you do the high temp cheese, you want to have a meat stuffer, which we'll show you here in a minute. If you run it back through the grinder to stuff the brats, which you can do, it'll chew up the cheese into too small pieces. Okay, it's completely mixed together and ready to go. You can see everything's dispersed real evenly. And next we're going to put it into the meat stuffer, and we'll show you how to stuff the casings. Okay, still working on our LEM Bratwurst here. And next I'm going to show you the Weston meat stuffer and how that works. So this is all mixed up, ready to go, 25-pound batch. This particular model is a 15-pound hopper on it. You can buy these in a 7-pound, 11, 15, and 30-pound. So the smaller one that you buy, the more times you have to kind of start over and refill it. This is a 15, so we'll have to do it twice, where we take it apart, fill it back up with meat, and start over. It comes with 3 or 4 different size stuffing tubes, and then we're using the High Mountain 30 millimeter casings because we're making brats. These come in all sizes too, for snack sticks or hot dogs and brats. These are the collagen ones. What you do is pull one of these out of the pack. This is a 3-pack. It does 32 pounds of meat right here, and it just goes right on the end real easy, just like that. And we're going to fill this up, put it on here, and we'll show you how to stuff them. Come on in. You can cut it off. So we've already done one batch here, and I'm about to stuff another one. I'll show you how to do it. This whole tube casing here just slides right on. This end has a knot, so make sure the knot's facing out. Slide it all the way down, and then we're going to start cranking down on the handle to push the meat out. You can hear that. This little gasket here lets the air out, so it doesn't end up getting stuffed into the casing. Start it out slow, and then once it gets going, you can go a little quicker. What I'm doing is holding this casing here with my left hand, holding it tight and just feeding it out at the speed that the meat's coming out. Otherwise, the whole casing will come right off the end.
I think I shot a tree. I think I shot a tree. Look it on, babe. Safety on.
Hold it back.
Pull it back. Pull it back.
They gotta go forward. You push it all the way back forward.
Yep.
You push it all the way back forward.
All the way back over.
Did you push it all the way back?
Yeah.
You can go forward.
Oh, I didn't do that.
Well, did he not do that forward now? He wants to see.
I got the safety on already. But where's the safety?
Right there, where's the
Where's the safety? Okay. I need to, is it on safety? It's safety. It's on safety.
Okay, so we have all the meat stuffed into the casings here, and now we just gotta section them out into the, you know, whatever length you want for your brats. And I've already started this, but how you do that is just kind of pinch the meat to give yourself a space, and then twist it. Twist one towards you.
I need to open it.
Twist the next one away, and then you won't untwist them as you go. Then you cut them apart later before you freeze them. Now another option, if you happen to stuff these a little bit too tight, too much meat in there, you'll see that they'll want to break on you like that. That's okay too. Just take a knife and you can just slice them into the sections that you need. Okay, they're trying the cheesy brats. What do you think, guys?
Yum.
Thumbs up?
Yummy.
Awesome.